I'm ready. I'm a Jupiter command center right away. I see a lot of people running around. They're wearing like brown jumpsuits with metallic type belts made out of segments. There are in and out tunnels. There are openings all over the place. There are big openings for starships to come in. There are small openings for people to get in. Some of them have doors, like glass doors that open. They use some blue light scanning system when you approach the door. It's like they identify you by restructuring your original body type. It's almost like they create a blue light body next in front of you or next to you, depending from what side you look. Looks kind of funny. It's almost like you're wearing some body, but they identify you by that, and then they open the door. It's like the super modern door in some sort of old cave. Looks like it. There is a table, there's a room, it's all bright light around. There is a one table. It looks pretty old, like solid wood kind of table, like red oak or something. And there is a guy sitting in some hat. Reminds me it's like military uniform, but I'm trying to look what it is on his. It looks like an Italian police officer with the hat on. The hat has this symbol. It's like a cross with that 8, horizontal 8, and in which 8 there is like a little star, like a 5-point star in each 8. That's made out of metal, and it's fixed on the hat. The hat has a little visor. It's like a German or Italian your police. And he's got this there's 3 computer monitors, each one for something. He has like files, another one like surveillance cameras. All the pictures there, I can see what's going on in the other rooms. And I see you come in a yellow suit. You don't look like human. It's like light yellow jumpsuit with golden stripe in the middle of the suit. Like a zipper, but it's not a zipper. There are some things that kind of look like pockets, but they're not pockets. It's like there's some technology built in that looks like pockets, but they are like half circles. That's the shape. You carry something in there. You carry some tools in there. Just know this one pocket on the left has a box that produces some impulses that you can communicate to some other command centers. You look like a very tall, like 7 feet type alien with this kind of like little wrinkly type skin, kind of brownish with bright eyes, like bright green eyes with brown around, like circles around or something. They're really round and huge. And yeah, it looks very interesting. A very long legs and very long arms, 6 fingers. Trying to see what's your name. But I touched it, it's your DNA. You have 44 strands DNA. Just popped up right away. Nulls. You come from some Nulls star system. You say there are 6 stars. They've been newly created to aid in turning over, flipping over the energetic makeup of this universe. You with your like a twin flame. That's like you divided your soul. Your soul is divided to 2 halves, and then the other half belongs to your sister.
Oh, wow.
And you came by this large spaceship. I see it's like the spaceship runs on water. Water has different feel to it. It's very like it's dense, but when you touch it, it starts vibrating from your frequency. It changes into different it changes its molecular structure, because I see your whole spaceship is like it's like round but flattened.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see from the center of the spaceship that goes like a blue, big blue, like imagine the translucent, transparent glass tube filled with blue energy, and that's your water from those planets. And then it goes like around the spaceship and goes inside around the spaceship, and you can see when the spaceship goes, but somehow it's like when it's flying, it spins, so it looks like it's bright blue light coming at you. But when you freeze the picture, you see like the lines are going. So it's like that, the watermelon with stripes goes
Mm-hmm.
from up to down. It's like this, but it's like flattened, kind of spherical thing. Uh, and it's like when it spins, it has 2 layers. One layer spins to the right, the inner to the left. It creates some, it's like centrifuge type motion. Uh, you explain that it's hydrogel hydrogel motorized. I have no idea what it is. You're saying it's spaceship, because this planets you come from, they're all water based. Each one has a different molecular structure of water. They all, like when I'm looking, they all like tropical planets. Tropics. When you walk, it's like you walk on cotton, uh, the cotton balls. It's very soft. The cotton balls made out of like some green leaves. They resemble sponges, like sea sponges. And there's something inside that lives there. Or oh no, you say it doesn't. No, nothing lives in there. You say it just the feelers, the energetic feelers that protect, like buffer protection for the inside, because inside is where you have babies, and you raise them there until a certain age because you don't want them stolen. They're very precious, because on your planet, your planets are called like Nolus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how you call them. You're number 2. You somehow you lost the ability to reproduce, so you reproduce through It's like genetic manipulation from you take. It's like artificially in a tube. I see tubes with little they look different from, yeah, like human embryos. They don't have the tails. They look more like humans, but they keep like the same like arms and legs like that. No tail there. You say that because they don't have this um, genetically. There's no reptilian influence on the DNA in the when you mix the DNAs. It's different. You said that you made them pure humanoid form, and that star system altogether, as many others on the outback of the universe, have been created by us creators to aid in the ending of the wars, of the conflicts, of the imprisonment of the souls in their own creations. They took our creations and used them as cages for us, so they can use us for everything they need. But they need to be put in the black holes that they also created by using their own substance. And you came here for cleanup mission with your sister. The interesting thing is, like, you look like males, like two males as you came, but she carries more like female energy than you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I would say you're like twin flames in a way, but they incarnated together as one. And you're that male representation of that part, and she's that other part, female. But because they couldn't incarnate as one energy, because you're one, but in this duality and in this low vibrational frequency, you wouldn't be able to enter a human body as the whole. You had to split up. It was all set up. You picked the family ahead of time. Wait, you know what they did? I see they picked up your mother and they implanted you yourself. Divided yourself into two. And then you agreed with the soul of your mother to be picked up and implanted the embryos. Because that was the way to come. And I see how they implanted on the spaceship. On that spaceship that I see you with the blue stripes. I see there's a very interesting, like, bright white reclining chair. Looks very comfortable with the pillows on the sides. And there's a big pillow with the positioning the arms. And it's like a laser beam of light that you use. It doesn't hurt or anything, just goes inside and implants the tiny little cells that are already kind of growing into this complex human bodies. You still like knew that you would not look like 100% humans, but you made it work out. You said there is an army of yellow bright souls came. There are indigo souls came. You show me some interesting thing. It's like far, far away from Earth. There are different, it's like pods or pens. There's a pen, or like a pool made out of light. There's a purple light here. There's a yellow light here. There's blue light here. They're all swirling. They look like galaxies, how they draw them, like a spiral galaxies. And then inside the spiral galaxies, inside those passageways, it's like beams of, they're made out of beams of light. There are souls, one after another, one after another. And as the center spins, it produces more souls to fill up, to fill up, to fill up, to fill up those, like this. And then when they're ready to go, there's some sort of like volcano kind of like energy explosion happens like a fountain. And then when that happens, those souls start going, and there's like a wave of that light from whatever planet comes, whatever light that was. The souls go through like a tube, but it's energetic tube. It's like a portal, and they go one after another. They shoot straight to Earth. And I see those spaceships and the nets, the energy nets that reptilians put up above the dome of Earth. And they're like all stunned. How come they go right through the nets? They don't care. Like nothing happens to them. And it's just like the souls are bombarding our Earth. Little children are coming. And they created this program of protection. I literally see like that child. It's like surrounded by a very hard material. This material is their energy sphere, but it's multi-layered and you cannot make hole in it, you cannot crack it, you cannot do anything to it. And this is supposed to be, they're like little flowers under the metallic concrete zone that we're standing on, and they are powering up with positive energy. It's like the last 2 to 3 years, those souls been born. They're still little children, but we as creators trying hard to protect them from to be not touched by the current situation until it's all cleared up. But the thing is, even if they're protected against psychological trauma, mental trauma, emotional trauma, any harsh substances, any chemicals, they if they try to be injected with something, it would repel. It neutralized quickly, like nothing touches them. And you showed me like that's also, it's been created. It's a great help. And and then you show there are planet with cats, where your cat came from. The planets with cats are kind of funny because it's not a round planet. It's like a flat round, and there's underneath some energy holding it like in place. Like its position certain way. And it's like contained with the energy because it has a bubble on top. It's like a perfect little environment for different creatures to live together. And then they decide if they want to incarnate and help out humans to live through this, how you call it, trials and tribunals times. But yeah, I see you now with like in an orange, bright orange suit, dark orange, with the interesting color. It's made out of metal tubes, very thin and flat, like this and like this. There's a big like symbol going on here. I'm trying to touch it. It sticks out. It's like a key. You say it's a symbol of universal key. Each universe has a key. Our universe has 7 keys. But this one, the one that is universal, unlocks all the 7 keys, secrets that needed to uncode, to decode all the programming that was used on human souls and non-human souls. But you represent non-human souls. You said we call ourselves Nolans. You show me there's a Maurus constellation next to you. It's a different, it looks totally different. It's kind of interesting. It's like energy looks like a rose if you zoom out, but the rose is very kind of 3D, and each layer of the rose inside has like amazing world unfolding inside. It's almost like outside it looks different from what it is inside. Once you dove inside, it's like beautiful. Um, One I see like these big purple mountains made out of transparent purple rock, and there is a blue sea and the bright pink sky with this light, and it's like there's no sun, but this light is all over the place and it never goes away. But I think it's like the petals are made out of light and they project light into every creation. So, and you can go from one petal to another to experience different creations. Um, it's very pretty. So I mean, this is the time when you kind of had to know what your subconscious would tell you, your story. And Jupiter was taken over, turned into a dead planet in our solar system. But every single planet that was turned was conquered and turned dead. Now is gonna be renewed through technology. It's like in a way they're in stasis. They died out, but they can be brought to life.
Mm-hmm.
There's technology for planets to do that too. Um, you got this. You don't have ears. It's like holes in the ears. You have this. It's almost like it's not eyelashes, but it's something resembling it. And when you do kind of like you can close them too. It looks so cute. It it's very interesting. You're like an interesting creature, um, being, and you can. The brown color comes from the mountains that you like. There are some mountains that are of the brown color, and you lived in them for a long time, and you have to your in your DNA you have a particular characteristic of being a chameleon. You kind of can blend in. You can become, if you live somewhere for a long time, you blend in perfectly,
Mm-hmm.
so they stop noticing you. Um, but the thing is, it was hard for you to blend in into this earth because I see like you've had 5 lives. This is a 6th life with your sister basically all together. And your sister you're doing different things. Your sister goes to some elevator, some capsule, whatever she shows, to the center of the earth to check on the energy levels there. She's in some program she signed up for.
I see.
It's
Okay.
and you're different. You're more like energy, collective energy, energy circulation, checking on that, going to the kind of like common energy field, feeling through the people's emotions, navigating through there. Um, it's like you're some sort of like you like to measure stuff. You're like a physicist of some sort. You compare different years energetically and what changed and how different people think, how it depends on the technology they use, and how we can use our minds to counteract technology, all that stuff. You're interested in that. You like Tesla Jr. type thing. You like all that stuff, that how it works, like how can we use water, air, and all the natural resources,
Mhm.
and how can we make everything beautiful, and so nothing would go into a dead mode, everything would be alive forever without killing or destroying, or because your planets are so beautiful. It's like there are giant flowers all over the place, and it's so soft and cuddly, like you can sleep on the grass and you feel so good. It's like massaging you when you lay on those cotton balls they filled with that beautiful energy. The feeling is like when you're lying on a water mattress. It's kind of like um but yeah, I see the interesting homes some animals have. They are made out of the like three tubes, but they're naturally growing into one kind of type flower, and they look like three tubes together, put together. Like looks like a tulip, because it does have some almost like a skin of whatever, some texture to it. And I see like different like cat-like creatures, but they're not really cats. They're like badger mixed with cat. I'd like it has this big eyes like this. It goes like this, and it makes some murmur sound. It's really like that. Like that's the sound they make. And then look at their blue color. They're blue. They have this big tail, like a raccoon or a fox, and they live on those. In each baby lives in this one pod, and the mom comes and feeds them. She feeds them some. It's like there are these big bushes, and they have naturally grown capsules of orange fluid. They looks like orange juice. She just grabs it with her mouth. She brings it to them. They bite it, and it opens, and they suck the juice out. That's all they eat. For you, you open like it's almost like coconut. There is some prolonged kind of like with hairs yellow
Mhm.
coconuts, longish, and there is just like this one little thing that you can peel it off and you just drink it, and you just need one drink for the whole kind of day. The day is 36 hours. The night is like 2 hours, but it's not really night, it's a resting period
Mhm.
when the whole planet goes into like slow motion type thing. But that's when you just lay on those fluffy things and you reflect on the new ideas, what you're going to create next day. And you build one creation upon the other. You also go to some other planet. So one of your planets, no, 3 and 4, they both have different types of crystals growing. They look like, like aloe vera plant, but those are like crystals. They grow like this, from each other, like this. And they're like towers of this light green all over. The crystalline structures, when I touch them, they're alive. It's like I can talk to it. And what are they needed for? exchange of energies from different stars, with cosmos. Cosmos is life, and we are organs of it. Organs have to supply energies and exchange information how we're doing. So that's all we do. We can provide healing energies if needed. If there's some explosions or something happening, destruction, we can direct our energies like laser beams from our crystal leaves to those.
Wow.
Dracos used to come and take the leaves off, and they call them their babies are gone. They took our babies. They use them for technology. They power their giant weapons with them. And I asked them how did I take, and they said, well, they don't even ask. They just come and take. I asked, why do you let them come? And they said, we were naive. We didn't know that the bad exists, the evil exists. We just were enjoying our lives here because we talk to each other. We can move a little here and there. We create a crystal energy dance and we're happy in it. Hmm. You know, it's interesting when you look from above, they project some interesting geometrical shapes and they blend like a kaleidoscope of different frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like a beautiful pattern of colors. They're all like very pastel colors. It just wants you to just be there, and it creates like a dome above made out of light. Um, hmm. Yeah, I don't see any humanoids. It's just a crystal planet. It's nobody. You come sometimes. No, 6 has some pink kind of skinned beings. Look like humans with pink color skin, blue eyes, no hair, and no gender. But they do wear some very close to skin suits. The suits are transparent, but they are done for protection. They take a color of their skin. They look pink.
Hmm.
But those are needed for something else. I feel like they're working on uh, ecosystems of space, of the re- reviving, reseeding the planets they've been killed. They've been that have been dried out or emptied out by Draconian Empire from Alpha Centauri, Orion, that those where their bases are. So you have 44 strands of DNA, 5 lives before this one. I see there's some construction in your body. There is like it's like and the where the heart is, there's like long metallized sticks. There's one here that goes there. It's like somebody drew a square, made it out of metal sticks and put it in you. And then that thing projects kind of rays of light above and down. It's almost like, wait, there are some, I see grays like Zetas, and I see like frog looking people. They have the webbed feet, webbed hands, yellow eyes with slits like reptilians.
Mhm.
Faces look green, slimy, green kind of like frog type face, but flat, like frog that is not flat, but they're flat. But the huge mouth like a frog has into.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like they're very, very negative beings. They came from some alternative universe, they said. I feel like it's outside of this. But it's like, I see there's one spot how they attached a bubble of artificial creation of some beings, like frog. It looks like abnormal growth of some cells connected to an organ or something. Organ is our universe. They come from there. It's like that's their source where they created. It's like somebody attached a sack with eggs, and from eggs come those frog people. And these greys are doing it. It's their experiment. Honestly, feel like greys are number one who are experimenting on the whole
Mhm.
humanoid, all the humanoid forms in this universe. Um, so they're the ones. The frog came to you in the second life when you were trying to. You said I was trying to heal everything around me: the air, the water, the sun, the grass, the animals, myself, pollution. You saw how the giant trees were fallen by lasers that they use from the flying discs where Grace were operating those.
Mhm.
And you were in that life, and that feeling of disgrace or feeling of unfair, that's a driving force of the attachment there, of how they connected to you, because you felt it was so unfair to do this to this beautiful planet, that this green, it's like the green frogs from the same experiment of Grace, much like the frogs we have on Earth, but they're miniature version of those who walk on their feet. Because I see like you're looking at the small frog and you look human, but you're a weird looking human. Your eyes are different because they go like this kind of. You have very tall like forehead, and you wear kind of like rustic type clothing with the belt that looks uh like knotted belt made out of some material from, I don't know, linen or whatever the color like that. And you're standing watching the flying discs, the ships shooting the trees down, and they just collapse quickly. And you look at the little beings like frogs, and you connect, and you have this feeling how unfair it is. And the minute you look at the frogs grows into this big standing up frog, which is probably like 5 or 6 feet tall. And I see how it installs into your etheric body, the square that you have in your chest, based on these feelings. I also see it's almost like crystal rectangle or something in your hand. It's absolutely like glass, very transparent. Didn't even see it in the beginning. You took it out, and there are different sides. They're like different. The basically your beliefs that you acquired through that life, the second one, they reversed them into negative. It was a positive belief that would go directly into negative thanks to this device. If it's a positive thought, it would be transferred into negative, and that's what they've done. I also see a lot of like lizards with long tails walking around at the time when they cut down all the giant trees. The giant trees were also antennas connecting the 3D layer of Earth to the other ones, other dimensions. And the trees originated from the 5D Earth, and they were just growing through layers of dimension. You can use them as portals to go to 6, 7s, and so on dimensions. That's why they cut them off. Down. Now those are like energy pillars, um, energy portals to different worlds. So you took the square one out and the crystal out of your hand. You taken some gloves off of your hands. The gloves were put on the force life. To to control what you do with your hands, to prevent you from doing things with your hands. When I'm going down, there's some sort of like needles or whatever that is in your, it's like they go from both sides of your, they are targeting your reproductive system, but they're going from both sides of the hips as if they're fixed in the hips, and there are two on each side.
Mhm.
They're absolutely transparent because I started touching. I told you touch your body, and when you touch it was the intention that everything's gonna show up. Those showed up too. There is also some things that stuck in between your toes, like this. They
Mhm.
look like transparent glass needles also, and those are something have to do with the frequency transmission. Those are like antennas. Um, so you wouldn't transmit the positive frequency like high vibrational into Earth's surface, because through that transmission you also help others out, and you connect to others better, and you send impulses for others to understand what you understand, even if it's a slow motion process, but we're kind of aiding other souls to wake up, and they blocked it. So you took all of them. There are like 8 altogether. So you took them out, you're holding them in there. They look like nails, transparent glass nails. And those rods on both sides, 4, is throwing them out in the portal. So yeah, you throw everything out, and you're just like you're using your own soul's light. Bright blue water type, like light, feeling your energy in, like filling up all those spaces from which you took the implants that were hollow. You're just filling them up with your own light. In your energy sphere, it like becomes brighter. It was rather gray and kind of interesting, like layered layers and layers and layers. I think they wanted you to get lost in your layers to become almost like invisible to some other people who would probably connect to you,
Mhm.
because it's like layers of cabbage, like cabbage leaves that I see that they are disappearing as you are turning on your soul's light higher and higher, more and more. Yeah, your DNA was tempered with, because I see some, it's like strands, and then in the middle of a strand it goes like this, almost like when you burn plastic, it goes kind of like misshapes.
Right.
So you're straightening it out. It's like that frog DNA that tried to infuse that the reptilian DNA, because they would take you sometimes at night. It happened all before the age of 12, and they would take you and they would want to check your, like, I see you hooked up to some machines to see how your physical body and energy body act together and act separately.
In this life?
Because, yeah, I see it in this life, but I also see 4
Oh.
lives before this, from that life when the frog got connected to you. And then they would bring you back, but they would only take your energy body out. Some, it's almost like they would do the cardiogram type thing. They would take some DNA samples and see, because, and they do the same with your sister, because it's an interesting experiment on its own of a soul split into halves. Um, but they interfered with her differently. It's not the same. Although she also, this is her sixth life here too. But they couldn't, the one thing they couldn't do is they couldn't use your DNA. There's some lock-in mechanism that your DNA has. They cannot be used for clones or hybrids. But the problem with this lock-in mechanism, in a way, when you get interfered, you also lock yourself in solitude and type position in your life when you become almost like invisible to outside people type thing, because you just created that mechanism yourself because you knew you were going to a crazy place, as you say, so you needed to be protected. But you unlayered all of it. You say it's time to be transparent because the time has come. It's like we're standing on and looking at the horizon, and there are three suns are being like going up, and three suns get together, blend in, and form one. That's how I see it. And then in that connection, everything lights up. It's like the whole world lights up. The grid is burned up. I see, like, like electricity goes out
Mhm.
and then it's replaced with natural electricity from souls who exist on this level. It's a different grid that gets activated at that point of three suns blending in into one. Yeah, and I see how planets get reactivated, reseeded with life. And I see how you show me that humans are traveling I see Pluto and Neptune. I see humans there. And those are beautiful planets. I see Saturn losing its rings and taken out. I see Moon is gone. Artificial Sun is taken apart into little parts, stored in some container, thrown into the black hole. Hmm. Interesting. But yeah, you're standing under a huge waterfall observing the this one giant huge sun. The whole sky looks like this bright orangey red. You don't even see the sun anymore. You just see one bright light. And everybody's like, all people stopped and they cannot move, admiring the whole thing. It's almost like the soul and body connects at that moment. And that's when you make the sleep to a different frequency or something. Because it feels different. It's like the same planet, but different. And you're free to progress. Nobody stops you. Yeah. You're just under this waterfall cleansing your mental, emotional bodies right now. Yeah, it's like Jupiter, they're gonna cleanse this. It's not gonna be trade center and military headquarters anymore. It's gonna be more like a garden. Everybody, like a botanical garden type thing. That's what I feel and see right now.
So is Jupiter like my home now?
No, Jupiter was like it's kind of interesting. Jupiter is like distribution center of souls who came to help
Oh, okay.
on that one, that timeline that I was looking at. So yeah, it's kind of like there's also different platforms where souls come depending on their frequency before they come to Earth. And some platforms are operated by reptilians, but those are souls who are like, I don't want to say naive, but they're young souls.
Mm-hmm.
Some planets just produce them as stars, and they just like newly born, no experience, and they would come there because they're curious about the Earth. It's almost like I want to say everybody talks about what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and some more mature souls like yours, you know how to go through a better way, better passage. Some souls even create their own passageway, and that's a different kind of like level of technological advancement and understanding. How to bypass. There's some souls that are created by those like galaxies, like you showed me. It's almost like we shoot the light beams, create the vortex of light beam energy. Looks like those galaxies of different colors, and they start, and there is a program in that light that they have to produce new souls out of that light. These souls are gonna be shot like a beam of light as a portal straight to Earth, because there's a certain percentage we need to aid the Earth's energies right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's an important thing. Right now is the time. It just like it has to happen. Otherwise you lose your all creation. You can lose the entire universe.
Mm-hmm.
So But yeah, and above the soul is like us. Imagine like a huge giant table made out of energy.
Mhm.
And imagine all the people of this universe and all the positive beings are standing around this table. That's how your subconscious showed me. Said all of us put the heads together and came up with a plan. All those up there who have their energy incarnated in anybody in this um, universe decided to connect to those avatar bodies in their own energy, energy source, energy bodies, and give them the information how they can help. Um, in a way, in restructuring this game because it's poorly constructed. It's like it's defective. It's proven to be defective at this point. We have to correct defects. We have to close the cycle up and start up the new one. And that's why we're gonna go to another cycle no matter what. It's planned that way, cannot go otherwise.
Okay.
So you have questions.
You have questions, but I'll do it after the recording's done.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop.